Hey, good morning, and it's pretty early. Um, the question is, do I need a tool and cutter grinder? Or it might be they are out there and sometimes really cheap, and I don't know if you do or not, but I'll tell you, there are so many carbide inserts of every shape, form, style that maybe you don't need a tool and cutter grinder because a lot of shops don't use them anymore. But even with all that availability, if you have all those shapes and stuff, there's a pretty good cost to it. And there's also the possibility of low-cost inserts getting cut off or becoming suddenly more expensive. And the advantage of a tool and cutter grinder is you can make just about any cutter on the spot as you need it, and you don't have to have a big inventory of things. And once you make a tool, it still kicks around, and you can generally reshape it or use it again as it is. Now, one of the things I need a tool and cutter grinder for, it's just multiple things I could talk about, and I'll try to, is I've got a horizontal milling machine. Let's see. Horizontal milling machine. It's got the vertical head on it. But the cutters, the high-speed steel cutter, it's an 1/8-inch cutter, almost a slitting saw. And you can sharpen this on this machine, on the cutter grinder here. And you can keep sharpening it, and keep back and giving it clearance until there's just hardly anything left. And it really makes sense to have a cutter grinder to sharpen these, for your horizontal mill. And the cutter grinder workhead here, I have a 4-jaw chuck stuck in this end. And it's set up with 5C collets, and this is the drawbar for the collets. And this chuck has a 5C shank on it. But here's an arbor, 50 taper arbor for that milling machine, and it's got a gear cutter on it. And you can touch that up too in this machine. So this would slide into this end, and you run it over and grind it. But see, that makes a lot of sense just for that. But you can also use the grinder like I showed in the last video, just like a really nice tool grinder, hand tool grinder. Fully adjustable, the precision wheel head, the Sopco hubs that I have on there are precise, and you can change wheels real quickly, and they generally run real true without excessive dressing. So I'll show you a couple of things here up close. I hope you're all doing good. I'm doing pretty darn good. I feel good. Got some good rest up there in Montana, and I'm going to try not to run myself in the ground like I did last summer. Trying to do too much, I was. So this is also a cylindrical grinder, both internal and external, and in some of my past videos, I've shown that. And also you can put this vise in that workhead, or have it on this fixture here, swing it around. You can do all kinds of things, put all kinds of tools and things like that. Now, I talked about this, I had a special thread to cut for this round and sharp dividing head. 4.5 threads per inch on something like 2 1/4 spindle, but those 4.5 threads they had a sharp crest. I mean, razor sharp. So I made this tool here to cut that. And what I did is I pre-shaped, you see it's kind of dark from brazing it in there. I pre-shaped a carbide blank on the little vices and stuff like that, using just inexpensive diamond cup wheels that tend to last for decades. And shaped that, brazed it in there, was able to cut the thread without having to order anything. And I really like thread cutting inserts, but they don't cut everything when you need it. So, okay, I'm going to come around the other side here. I'll be back. Okay, I wanted to point out one important safety thing that's really critical importance. If you're grinding carbide, you need to have some kind of a vacuum setup. And I found the simplest thing here. I don't grind huge amounts of carbide, so this works really well. And what this is an old filter queen vacuum. And the price is still on it from the charity store about 3 blocks away from here, $4.99. But I've seen these at the Goodwill, I don't know, 20 bucks or something. And they have filters in it, and it filters the carbide out to where you can't smell it. And if you can't smell it, it's probably not there, because if you grind a little bit of carbide, it really smells. And they say if you can smell it, you're being overdosed on it, and it's dangerous. I think it's the cobalt or something. So you want to evacuate carbide if you're grinding with diamond wheels. So that's important to mention that. Now, this is also like a grinding lathe for hard metals, but it's also like a milling machine too, because you can put parts in like this vise and tilt the vise or whatever. The head on this doesn't tilt, but over the years, you put and I've shown that too, you put a big heavy L bracket on here and you can mount your tool post grinder and tilt it. The later machines have a tilt head. And kind of the beauty of this machine is its simplicity. It's about a 1942 vintage Cincinnati universal tool and cutter grinder, and they're very, very simple. And they become more sophisticated as time goes on. But this is a wartime machine. Real easy to use. A little bit underpowered, which kind of keeps me out of trouble, I think, you know. So, okay, I'll go back over to the other side. I have a 5-inch wall hopper head that I can run on the heavier machines here. And it takes 7/8 shank tools. And I didn't get the kit that goes with it, but I'm real familiar with the kits and stuff. And they got this and that, but not really what you need. But over at the farm store, they had 7/8 hitch pins. So I took a 7/8 hitch pin and turned it. Hitch pins are pretty tough material, but you cut them I'd probably cut this on the old Monarch 10EE. And so I cut that down and shaped it. And then I brazed a worn DNMG 432 carbide insert in there and ground it. You can tell by the hole But look at the rest of it here. I'll try to then ground it in this machine. And I've been using this for years. I just keep touching it up, face with it. I can cut a face with the wall hopper to a shoulder with that. Very difficult operation. People wonder, how did he do that? So that's how you do it. Makes it look like the wall hopper, you can use it in the milling machines, but the work looks like you turned it in a lathe. It's really kind of a cool device. But the cutter grinder come in pretty handy for that. And let's see, I think I showed that other tool, carbide insert blank. Oh, not inserts, but carbide blanks. I bought this bag on eBay right here. And how many were in there? I don't know, a whole bunch. And they got them all different shapes and sizes. And this good carbide, C2, is what you want to work with. And only go to higher grades if you need to, the harder grades. So this is the best stuff to start with. It is. So the cutter grinder is kind of a mill for hard steel and carbide. And also a lathe for hard steel and carbide. You can just do all kinds of things with this machine. And I just kind of bumbling along doing what I have to do here. I started making videos when I got this machine here. I already had the milling machine was totally rusted, and I had that already done. Had that and the drill press that I'm still working on, that was solid rust. Yeah, some of these things take a lot more time, that was 2021 when I started making videos, and I was gathering this stuff together. I put the date on that chuck there. So I'm just kind of using this machine as I need to fix these other machines. But I'm doing other projects now, so I will be using the cutter grinder quite a bit more. And you can decide whether or not you need one. I just can't say, yes, you must have one. Now, the other question come up, I glanced over the messages. I'm trying to get back answers and stuff, but I got all these little things going right now, just getting back. But one of the problems is the accessories for the machine. And one guy that used them a lot put it to me this way some years ago. He goes, if you're thinking about getting a Cincinnati tool and cutter grinder, he goes, try to find a really good work head. Then look for the grinder. Well, the grinders are out there pretty cheap, and they strip the accessories off of them. But if you want to do the cylindrical grinding and stuff like that, you need a work head, and one that hasn't been taken apart, that hasn't been knocked apart. If you take them apart, they won't run as true. Or you'll have to re-grind them in the machine. See that? And you can do that, see. This machine, it's not very powerful, but you can regrind a 50 taper, which is big. You can grind some big things, but you just can't take a big bite, and you have to use a wheel that's gonna do it, and likely with not a whole lot of surface contact, So see, this machine's under half horse, and some of them are a couple of horsepower. So I'm limited a little bit on horsepower, but just with being careful and stuff like that, I can hold a couple of 10,000s pretty easily on this machine. So, there's quite a bit of accuracy in these things. And another problem with this machine is the ball bearing table. And if these things take a rough truck ride, it'll damage it, and it'll go bump, 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 bump. When you move the machines, you're supposed to remove the table or wedge it up with hardwood blocks. It'll lift up to a degree. Let's see if I can pull that up and show you. Weight might be over there. No, I can't. It's too heavy. Probably this upper table weighs 300 pounds, and it's on, I think, I don't know, 40 some ball bearings, 44 maybe. 3/4 inch ball bearings on tracks on both sides. So the condition of those tracks is of critical importance. Now, I bought this machine from a machine tool dealer, and it was checked out and it was running and stuff like that. So if you're out in the wild, that's what you might run into. And but maybe you can get lucky and find a machine that's together, has all this stuff out of a working shop, that closed or something like that. Something like that would have a pretty high value, I think. And talking about value, now, I'm trying to think when I got this thing. I don't know, very early 90s, maybe, something like that. This, with a few accessories, cost me back then $4,500, and that was a deal. And it's since then that they've become worthless. Of course, I'm going to buy a machine that's going to become worthless within a few years. Okay. I'll think of something else, and I'll come back. Oh, yeah, I'm back here. Since making videos, I really fixed up this machine, I made these thumb screws. I made videos doing that on the axle sense. See, I got a new thumb screw there, matching thumb screw here. On the other side, this is really a neat thing that does a lot of different things. It's kind of a common thing they were doing at Hanford out there. Somebody else made this, but I made these nice knobs for it. It's an adjustable rest. So I made these nice knobs and hooked up all this stuff with this KDK from the blade. That worked out great. And just generally kind of sprucing this thing up. And it's just running like a top. So I'll keep doing videos on this. And there's people have asked about instructions on these. I have some stuff on the Cincinnati manuals, and I'll see what I can do on that with what I have. But there's, I guess, just read everything you can, but there's the reality of actually doing it. And that's why I'm doing videos, just doing the simplest things, because a lot of times I mostly do the simplest things on the machine because it's sitting here and I need to use it for, just general tool sharpening. But I think that's key to the machine, is getting used to it. And there's the hazard part of the ball bearing table. Smacking a fixture into a wheel, and particularly cup wheels will break, and particularly these cheap pink ones. they'll really blow. And I guess one of the things I would say that I could recommend is using Norton abrasives. It costs more, but I've just had less problems with these things exploding. Okay. Hey, you guys have a good day, and I will be back. I got a whole bunch of stuff to do. Okay, bye-bye.